What's up, YouTube? You're Inside the Edge, and I'm back with another video. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today we're going to talk some football. There's a lot of scenarios happening. A lot of teams right now is just at 500 or they're above 500. I mean, this is a really balanced NFL season, I will say. There's a lot of conferences that's fighting to the very end of the last game of the season. We're seeing the AFC East looking strong, the NFC East with, Dallas and the Eagles. We're seeing just a whole lot of good football in each conference. So, today we're going to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars, because I'm loving their offense, man. I just felt like I had to make a video and just talk about what we've been seeing with the Jaguars, man. They're catching fire right now. Right now they're 7-6. They started off the season really slow, but the fact that they can actually make a playoff run with the Titans, with them, they're losing. I don't know what's going on with the Titans, but with the Jaguars, their playoff hopes is still alive, guys. And just looking at what Doug Peterson has done with his offense and just seeing how they progressed over the last few weeks, I'm excited to watch this team play, moving forward. I think Jacksonville, they have arrived. I wouldn't go far as saying they're going to win a Super Bowl this year, but I will say that they're on a good trajectory for next year. And I think next year next year Jacksonville should aim for 10 wins. I think that should be their expectation. But as of right now, guys, the Jaguars, they're first place in the AFC South. And I think to win the division, I think it might actually come down to their last game, Week 18, against the Titans. So that's going to be a really good showdown. And just to start off with Trevor Lawrence, like I said, a lot of pressure was put on him, obviously being a first overall pick. A lot of executives, coaching staff, there's a lot that goes into a franchise, but a lot of people, they expect, a young quarterback to flip an entire franchise around within a season. And obviously Trevor Lawrence had his struggles his rookie year, but, looking at what he's doing, this season, man, there's a lot, I think the front office of the Jaguars can really say, I think we made a really good investment in Trevor Lawrence. Just seeing what he's done, even against the Cowboys, he threw for 318 yards, 4 touchdown passes. That was an unbelievable game by him just to finish that game out in OT. And also, we're starting to see Trevor Lawrence look more comfortable in this offense. This looks like a guy that's like, yes, I have weapons. I have a lot of good players around me, and that's something that Trevor Lawrence didn't have last season. So, I like Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Marvin Jones. That signing for Marvin Jones was really big for this team. And then another guy that can spark this offense is Evan Ingram, their tight end. This is a guy that can block. He could be an extra lineman, and he could, be a part of the passing attack. And that's what I believe, Doug Peterson is doing. He's utilizing Evan Ingram as a receiving tight end, just to be that extra weapon on offense. And then obviously just looking at the running back situation, I'm liking what Travis Etienne is doing. Him being in the backfield, he's being very productive. He's putting up solid numbers, and he's easing off pressure for Trevor Lawrence. It's not like Trevor Lawrence has to, every play he has to throw for 20 yards or, make a play. This guy's averaging 4.9 per rush, yards per rush. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from ATN. He has over 200 carries. He has 1,000 yards, 4 touchdowns this season. He could probably could have had more touchdowns this season, but I think he's playing solid for his rookie year. I think that the Jaguars, overall, I think Doug Peterson is really utilizing all of his players, and he's just making Trevor Lawrence's job so much easier. And he, like I said, he has guys to throw the ball to. I'm looking at, like I said, Zay Jones. He's I would call him more of like a post route receiver. He's a guy that you put on the outside and he can win those 50-50 balls. He's a guy that you can throw the ball to in the red zone. He's a really good key piece to this team. And I would even say the same thing with Marvin Jones Jr. He was another good pickup for this team as well, because he's a guy that you can put on the outside. And, he can win a lot of 50-50 balls. And he's a veteran. He's been in the league for a long time. He knows how to get open. This is just a really good, talented team. And then Christian Kirk, he's a good route runner, a speedster. And I think Trevor Lawrence is just enjoying his time, playing with these guys. And one thing I will say about Trevor Lawrence that I can say that I've seen his progression also is When the plays is collapsing, some players would scramble out of bounds and run towards the sideline. But one thing about Trevor Lawrence is he's a guy that's going to run out the pocket, use his athleticism, and look up the field and make a play. And that's the difference between good quarterbacks and great quarterbacks. And we're just seeing Trevor Lawrence blossom every single season. And I think if the Jaguars, if they could get into the postseason, they might mess around and beat someone. But I really want to just wrap this video up saying, Doug Peterson, give a lot of props, a lot of kudos to him, because his play calling throughout situational games, his play calling is superb. This is an offensive minded, coordinator, and just the way that we're even the Jaguars using Mikael Hasty, getting him from Francisco, I think he's another speedster back that can do damage, I'm really liking their combo at running back. I think that this team can really make some noise in the playoffs, guys. Jacksonville, man, stand up. And just, I'm not living in Jacksonville, but I would say, guys, Jacksonville is a beautiful place to live, nice weather, and I'm sure the city is on fire right now. There's a lot of good things. There's a lot of exciting things to be happy about in Jacksonville. But I want to hear your guys' opinion on how you guys feel about the Jaguars. Do you think the Jaguars are going to make the playoffs? How deep do you see this Jaguars team going? Trevor Lawrence, I see him blossoming, and potentially he can be an MVP candidate this year. Not this year. I'm sorry, in the future. He's not there yet, but in the future. I was almost going to say next year, but Trevor Lawrence, with the weapons he has, sky's the limit for this Jaguars team. I think they have arrived. I think next year they should aim for 10 wins, and I think they found their guy. They found their franchise quarterback. It took some time. It took a long time, actually. It took decades for them to find their franchise quarterback, but I think there's a lot of exciting things to be excited about for Jacksonville, and sky's the limit for the team moving forward. So with that being said, guys, I want to hear your comments. How do you feel about the play calling from Doug Peterson? How do you feel about the Jacksonville Jaguars team, making the playoffs? What do you see in this future with the Jaguars team? Drop a comment down below. Until next time, guys, have a good day. Be safe and take care of yourself. God bless.